Fantastic question and another uncomfortable answer. I think some of this stuff came, for me, out of the way I was raised in a Christian fundamentalist worldview, and two core beliefs from that perspective. Number one, that marriage lasts forever, and number two, that in that marriage you have two people who should become one. Those ideas, especially when unchallenged, aren't only lacking, but they can be toxic. Let's start with the first. The idea that divorce is not an option in a marriage leads people to start to prioritize the institution over the relationship. What I mean by that is, from the moment we put those rings on and said, I do, it's just really easy to think this is permanent. And that, as a person who has high anxiety, was a very comforting thought that I'd have this person I love who's not going anywhere. But couched in this particular culture with a lot of societal inequities along gender lines, it could feel like a prison from the other perspective, right? To be trapped in a relationship with somebody who doesn't treat you well isn't a comforting thought. Took my partner for granted. I thought I had unlimited time to work through any issues we might face. Marriage forever sends the message that marriage is never for today. And this sadly leads into this idea of a bait and switch. You ask the question, why didn't I seek external validation from my partner? The truth is, as soon as we got married, I no longer saw her as external. I saw her as an internal source, an extension of myself. And because I didn't know how to love myself, in turn, I also didn't know how to love her well. I would have said back then that I trusted her. I would have said I loved her with my whole heart. Sometimes when I said those things to my partner, she would look at me blankly back like, you don't even know. Because I didn't. I was lacking self-insight and reflection to such an incredible extent. I suffered from both an overconfidence bias and an optimism bias. Overconfident in the skills I brought into marriage, also an optimism bias that sure, I knew divorce exists. I really thought this can't happen to us. This won't happen to me. And the danger in thinking that something cannot happen to you is that you do almost no preparation to avoid that outcome.